and begin the show with some earnings conversations. Indian Overseas Bank saw strong loan growth and an improvement in asset quality in its third quarter. Let's get in the management then. Ajay Kumar Srivastava, who is the MD and CEO, who is joining us to discuss the numbers in greater detail. Mr. Srivastava, good morning and thank you so much for joining in. Congratulations on the quarter gone by. Your loan growth, your advances were up almost 27% compared to last year. What are the factors behind this? Which segments are leading this advance? And have you taken portfolio from other lenders as well?
Yes, good morning. Credit growth basically has come from, if you see in all parameters, whether it is retail, agri or MSME or corporate also, we have grown in double digit. And one of the major factors was that last year the CD ratio was around 72%. So still we are having a cushion of around 7% to go for our credit growth. And that was one of the key factors. And second factor was that we got good credit proposals in corporate segment, and RAM has always been the core strength of IOB. And just following the past credentials and the track record, we grown in double digit in retail, agri and MSME also, and corporate credit also. And that really, since cushion was available in CD ratio, right now we are at 78%. That really propelled the credit growth, which resulted in our interest income increase.
Okay, all right. Hi, Mr. Srivastava. Good morning and good to see you in.
Yeah.
So for the year, what kind of a loan growth are you looking at? Point number one for this year as well as next, going by the growth that you're seeing. Point number one. Point number two is your NIMs, they're stabilizing around 3.1%. But there's a bit of a scramble for deposit growth as well out there. So give and take everything, what should the sustainable NIMs be?
Yeah, for credit growth, we are targeting for next year also double digit, around 13 to 14% growth in credit we will be settling at. That is the figure which we are looking at. And going forward, NIM, of course, quarter on quarter, if you see this time from September and December, we have been able to maintain our NIM at 3.12, the same percentage. Going forward, because of liquidity issue in the market and deposits are not available, there will be some challenge on NIM. But since our CASA ratio is above 43%, and we have been consistently maintaining it at this level for last 5-6 quarters. If you see CASA percentage-wise also and in absolute terms also, CASA has been increasing. So that is one of the great strengths of the bank. And with this, I think we will be able to maintain around 3.1, 3.15 NIM going forward also in coming quarters.
3.1 to 3.15. Just a follow-up question. You said for next year, the growth will be 13 to 15%. For this year, what do you end with?
This year, we targeted 15% only, but year on year, we ended at around 23%.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're ahead of that mid-teens growth target that you were talking about.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
An update on your asset quality, Mr. Srivastava. What can you share some numbers on what have been the slippages this quarter, recoveries, write-offs? Could you share some more numbers on that front? What has been the figure this quarter?
Exactly. Asset control has been one of the hallmarks of IOB this financial year. Last quarter, for September quarter, our slippage ratio was 0.18 only. And for December quarter, the slippage ratio is 0.17. Quarter on quarter, consistently, we have been maintaining our slippages to more than whatever we expected and whatever we tried. We remained below that level. Over a base of 2,16,000 crores of credit, the slippage was around 300 crores only for September quarter or December quarter also. So that is one of the things, that slippage ratio at 0.17. Second thing is recovery. You talked the recovery we have been doing consistently. We are having a pool of around 32,000 crores of technical return of accounts. This quarter, our recovery was more than 1,100 crores. And out of this 1,100 crores, 50% almost came from technically return of accounts. And out of this 1,100, one more positive fact was that out of this 1,126, 900 crores was cash recovery. So on the recovery front, we have been doing very well, and that is also one of the factors why our net profit has increased. And slippages have been absolutely under control.
But do you expect any further recoveries this quarter, Mr. Srivastava? And can you see this asset quality, gross NPA, net NPA number going down further as we end the year?
Yes. From 4.62, we have come down to 3.90 in December quarter. Going forward also, GNPA will come down and net NPA will also come down. Our PCR is more than 96%. And since slippages are under control, I do not see any impact on provisioning thing. So net NPA will be, of course, it will come below 0.62, which is there at the present. GNPA will also come down. And this quarter recovery, we are targeting around 1,500 crores. So overall, whatever the guidance we gave last year for full year recovery, we will be surpassing that by end of March.
Okay, all right. Mr. Srivastava, the other point I wanted to make is if I pull up a last 1 year chart of the stock, the stock price has gone one way. It's up close to around 70%. But the government of India is the largest holder in there, right? With more than 95% holding. Have you heard anything about them trimming down stake? Because as of now, it looks like a blue screen scenario. But the only point is that the amount of traded shares in the market is very limited. So have you got any kind of indication?
No, there is no indication as such, but we are planning to go for raising equity, maybe Q1 or Q2 of the next year. This issue will be discussing in our board, and accordingly decision will take it forward. But certainly that is on the cards. And regarding share price, what I can say that we want to be known as a consistent performing bank. If you see our last 6-7 quarters figures of the bank, you can see consistently improvement in major key parameters. All key ratios, you can see quarter on quarter there has been improvement. So that is the way we want to project IOB, that consistency is the key, and it is for the market to respond to that.
Okay, so what was that point you were making about in the next year you're looking at diluting some shareholding? What was it? We missed that point. Looking at some fundraise?
We'll be going for raising some equity, maybe through QIP or through FPO. That we'll be discussing in the board, and accordingly decision will be taken.
Any ballpark number that you plan to raise, Mr. Srivastava?
Exactly, that is on the cards. Yes, we like to do, because Government of India holding is 96%.
Okay, so in the first half of next fiscal year, we can hear about some fundraising plan. Is that correct?
That is the plan tentatively, but of course it has to be discussed in the board, and then we'll come back again.
And the quantum you want to give us, a rough number?
It will be difficult to say because it is yet to be discussed in the board.
Rough number, sir. Maybe a broad range if you could give us.
I will not like to speculate.
All right, Mr. Srivastava, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining in, and wish you good luck for the last quarter of the financial year and for the times ahead as well. That was the management of Indian Overseas Bank planning some equity fundraising in the next first half of FY25. The stock currently up 5%, closing in on the 50 rupee mark. As Nigel was highlighting, the stock is risen to the day's high after the interview. So as Nigel was highlighting, the government holds around 96% there. So a little bit of low free float in the market. Let's shift focus to